Chronicles of the Grim Reaper, After the Beaches, by Griz Calderon. He had known it was coming long before the first ship left harbor. The tide of it pressed against him like a storm still far from shore, gathering weight with each passing day. In the weeks before the sea turned red and the sand burned under the sun, he walked the quiet roads of towns that did not yet know they would lose so much. Fields, city streets, farmhouses, and shops, he moved through them unseen. The people could not see him, but some felt him. A heaviness in the air, a pause in conversation, a sudden stillness in the middle of the day, or a shiver that came without wind. They could not name the reason, only that something distant yet close was drawing near. He traveled in silence, his black robe trailing just above the ground, never touching it, moving as if stirred by a wind that was not there. The long curve of his scythe glinted faintly when it caught the light, but in shadow it was nothing more than an outline against the air. He came in daylight, walking past shop windows where families sat together, his form passing without reflection. He came at night, when mothers wept into their hands and fathers sat in darkened rooms, turning over a fear they would not speak aloud. Sometimes he lingered in doorways, the edge of his presence just enough for them to feel without understanding. When the day came, the longest day, he moved across every beach, every bunker, every wave. Time bent and split so he could be there for all of them, the living and the dying, the ones who knew their fate and the ones who never saw it coming. But his work did not end when the gunfire stopped. In the days that followed, he carried the souls he had collected back to the places they had left behind. He did not drop them like stones into the lives they had loved. He guided them to the doorways, the gardens, the quiet rooms where their absence would soon be felt. Families who had feared the worst found themselves pausing for reasons they could not name. A sudden memory, a warmth in the air, the faintest sense that someone familiar was nearby. When the telegrams came, when uniforms appeared at doorsteps, the blow was no less sharp, but the Reaper made sure it did not land alone. He stood beside the mother at the sink, who gripped the counter to keep from falling. He was in the shop when the father lowered his head into his hands. He was with the brother who stared at the empty bed, with the sister who traced a name in dust on a windowsill. His presence was felt not as fear, but as stillness, the quiet weight of someone holding the moment steady so it did not crush completely. And the souls he carried stayed close for a while. Some lingered in the quiet hours of night. Others stood in corners of the yard, watching the ones they had left behind. The Reaper allowed it, bending time so those moments lasted as long as they needed to. Years became decades. Stones were carved, names etched into walls and memorials, into books and photographs. Children grew up hearing the stories of the ones who had not returned, learning their faces from pictures, their voices from the memories of those who loved them. Flowers were placed at graves by hands that had never met them, but remembered them all the same. The Reaper still visits on anniversaries, not for the dead, but for the living. He walks among the crowds at ceremonies, unseen but present, his robe brushing past rows of folded flags and polished plaques. The scythe is at his side, but here it is only a symbol, a marker of who he is, not what he must do. He feels the way their voices carry those names forward, the way their stories stay alive in the air between them. He knows the world will not remember every face, but the ones who do will remember enough to keep them alive in the only way that matters. He had known the day was coming, and long after the beaches fell silent, He made certain it would never be forgotten. The end.